They don't feel no remorse because they don't care. They're just there. Their job is to take the money. That is it. They don't care if the person has cancer. If they have cancer, they will give him some discount. They won't clean out his whole bank account.
Hello there, you cheeky criminals. Thanks as always for popping on by and tuning in. Today I have something a little bit different for you all. It's not one of my usual investigations or a travel video or anything like that. It is actually an interview with an ex-phone scammer. Over a year ago, I did a video for the BuzzFeed Unsolved network about phone scamming and scam baiting, and I got really interested in the world of scamming and scam baiting. Scam baiting being the process of scamming the scammers, basically the kind of stuff that the likes of Jim Browning and Kit Boga do.
Just go to prison, you motherfucker.
I was actually even doing a lot of scam baiting on my Twitch streams.
Mommy, are you there? Hello, Mommy.
Yes, Daddy, Mom is here.
And so a few months ago, I received an email from a man claiming to have been a scammer who now helps law enforcement and other scam baiters by providing them inside information. And he said, hey, do you want to talk to me about it? And I said, yeah. So cozy on in, sit yourself down with maybe a hot cup of cocoa or a Shirley Temple, and listen on in as you get a little bit of inside goss into the world of phone scamming. Thank you so much again for taking the time to speak with me and for all the work that you obviously do to help combat this continuing problem. I mean, I'm curious, how did you first get into phone scamming? I mean, is it something that appears in an ad? I mean, how did that begin?
Basically, I came from UK. I was deported because I was involved in bad things, and I got deported to India because I was born in India, but I grew up in the UK. I was looking for a job, and I was just on Google, looking for jobs in my local area, and this job turned up where saying that you could work in a call center, and I was like, yeah, I can speak English, I can do this. They obviously promised me everything, that your English is very good, you can do this. So I went to this call center, and which was claiming to be genuine, but they weren't 100% genuine. They would pay for your food at work. They would give you everything. They basically used to give us cash incentives. They were giving us monthly incentives. Whatever you wanted, even if you wanted an advance from the boss, give it to you without even saying no to you. They told us it's a genuine, we are authorized to do this, But suddenly we found out this is a scam because from the customers we were calling that were saying, why are you scamming people and things like that? This is wrong. That's how we found that this is a scam.
Oh, so you didn't even realize for a while that it was a scam?
No, we didn't know it was a scam.
Oh my God.
It was only the way we found out was because we were calling customers, and customers would swear at us and things like that and say, look, why are you scamming people? This is wrong, what you're doing and this and that. And we're like, well, this is a scam. But the money was too good to walk away.
How long were you in scamming before you got out, actually?
6 to 8 months I scammed. 6 to 8 months I scammed.
During that 6 to 8 month period, how much money do you think that you stole from people as a scammer?
I don't know exactly how much money I've stolen as a scammer, but I will tell you the highest amount that I've stolen was $46,000 Canadian. Out of one person.
$46,000 Canadian. Wow. Can you sort of just run me through how that even, what was the scam?
Canada Revenue Agency. When I've called him, told him that he's got tax pending, I've told him he needs to pay $6,700 or something. He's agreed to pay that. So he's paid that. Then afterwards, the script is so well done that they will try to fleece more money out of you. They will tell you that now these charges that are pending, that you've got money laundering, you've got willful misrepresentation to a government organization, you've also got this, or you've also got that. Normally you have 4 charges against your name, so they're going to tell you each one of these charges to be removed from your name, you need to pay a certain amount. And also there's jury costs and things like that, you need to pay for this as well. So it's just, until the customer does not hang up the phone, you're not to hang up the phone.
Wow, that's wild to me. $46,000 that's insane.
And the only reason he found out that it was a scam because the bank's closed, and when we called him back the next day, he's realized by then that he's been had in that.
Wow. And was there any chance he got his money back?
No. They don't get their money back. It's gone. It's gone. That's it. No one gets their money back. It's gone. It's lost. It's done. People commit suicide over this.
So at the time you were living with a live-in girlfriend, how did she feel about the scamming?
It's like when you're doing something wrong, you can always justify it to yourself. It was basically, I used to see it as, I'm somebody in Texas who is an executor. I'm just doing my job, you know? That's how I used to see it, is that this is a job for me. I'm paid to do a job and I'm doing a job. I'm not the person with the big mansion or anything. I'm just providing and surviving. That's how I used to see it. So people that were involved in this scam or people that were about to get scammed, I would send them their phone numbers and we would bring them up. In the end, it's estimated that I've saved Canadian and US citizens at least $3.5 million USD.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's incredibly impressive. But at the same time, it's scary to think that that money could have been stolen, but also considering how many you have saved, how many more there are that weren't so lucky, and how many more millions actually were stolen. Because you can't get them all, unfortunately, right?
Yeah, you can't get them all, you know. You can't save every single one. It's just luck of the draw who got saved and how they got saved, you know.
Hello there, Aria from the future here, hence the haircut. But like Casey just said, it really is sometimes the luck of the draw that saves people from being scammed or not. So if you want to give yourself an extra layer of security, then you'll be happy to hear that this video is very appropriately sponsored by Surfshark VPN. In a world of online scammers and criminals like the very ones we're covering in this video, online privacy is even more important than ever. Surfshark VPN has a bevy of features, but basically it not only hides your actual location from potential online criminals, but it also allows you to make it seem like you're in a different country entirely. Magic. It also blocks over 1 million malicious websites and pop-ups, including very many of the same ones used by these online scammers. And not only are you protecting yourself from potential scammers, but you're also protecting yourself from hackers, as well as other nosy people from seeing all your online business with Surfshark's military-grade encryption. On top of just protecting yourself online, one of my favorite things about using Surfshark is how I'm able to access streaming libraries from all around the world by changing my location, which is perfect for when I'm filming my content overseas for you all, but desperately need to catch up on shows like Barry on HBO Max, which unfortunately and tragically isn't available worldwide yet. So if you want to hop on the VPN train with me, chugga chugga, you can go ahead and use my code ARIA83 for not just 83% off, but also 3 extra months for free. What a treat. You can visit surfshark.com to learn more, or you can just click that handy little link in the description below. Now, let's get back to my conversation with former phone scammer, Casey. Whoa! That's me going back in time. For a period, I was doing my fair share of scam baiting. We had a policy on my streams, at least, a policy where we didn't allow people in the chat to make fun of, call center employees' accents or where they're from, because, did seem like more often than not, majority of these callers were coming from India, from call centers in India. Although I also dealt with my fair share of American scammers. I dealt with some French scammers. So it's definitely a global thing. However, there does seem to be quite a centralized amount of scammers in India. The other reason why I didn't want people in the chat calling out the scammers' nationality, their race, or making fun of their accents is because obviously I think there's also a big degree of cultural context and nuance that people, including myself, don't really get as to why it's so prevalent in India, these call centers. Can you speak to that? Do you know why there's just such a congregation, I guess, of call centers in India?
I don't know. That's a good question, but it's everywhere because I see it in India, it's in Pakistan, it's everywhere. Anywhere that they can see the law is relaxed and they can get away with it, they will set it up. Because I know it's happening in Indonesia, it's happening all over the place. It's basically all the countries where you can get away with it. Wherever money talks, you can set it up. Basically, that's all it is. Because, like I said, these people are making ridiculous amount of money. To make $100,000 a month, it's not hard. It's very easy. I have done that with 5 people, calling every day. 5 people can make $100,000 a month.
You were able to turn the page completely, and now you're doing your part to help fight this problem. But I'm curious as to, from your time in these call centers, how much percentage would you say of the scammers in these call centers feel some sort of remorse or regret for what they're doing?
No. They don't feel no remorse. Because they don't care. They're just there. Their job is to take the money. That is it. They don't care if the person has cancer. If they have cancer, they will give him some discount. They won't clean out his whole bank account. If the person's bedridden, they won't clean out his account, but still, he is to get scammed. There's like nothing involved. They see it as it's either me or them, and it's basically take it for yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to have no money at the end of the month, so it's best to take it from them. It's like when you're going for your job and that these people that you work for, they've programmed it into you so well that you're hungry to scam somebody. You're so hungry, like you want that person's money and you don't care like what that person is saying to you on the phone because you want their money. Saying that these people that are scamming, they are not stupid people. They are not like dumb, illiterate people. These are educated people with educated background. They can speak English. Time you can speak English in India, you are educated. Because normally a person that can speak English, he has done higher education, so he's been to college. And they just tell their parents some bullshit story how they've got a successful job and they think their son is very successful in life. But they will not tell their parents that they are scammers.
Wow. Okay. So you would say the majority of scammers their families are unaware.
No, nobody will tell their family that, you know what, mom and dad, I'm a scammer. No, they will say, mom and dad, I'm working for Apple, or I work for Samsung customer care and things like that. That's what they will tell them. They will never say to them, like, you know, I actually scam people for a living. No way, because their parents wouldn't approve.
What were some of the worst things you saw or heard in the call centers?
There was once a time when I was the opener of the call. Basically, I told the woman, Canada Revenue Agency's coming and you need to pay $96,000 today. And she's like, what? Yeah, I said, oh, if not, the police are coming in and out to your house and you will be arrested. Like, she's like, I'm by myself, I've got a baby at home. I said, we don't care. And she just burst into tears. And she's like, what about the baby in that? I said, you should have thought about that when you wasn't paying your taxes. You should have thought about your baby. It wasn't our job to think about your baby. And in the end, I told my friend, like, you need to save this woman. You know, she's going to lose a lot of money in that. And she was so glad that she got saved from losing that. She thought she was actually going to jail to actually fall for it, you know? What happens is, like, you know, sometimes you're speaking to these people and it's like you tell them and they start crying. And when they start crying, the baby in the background starts crying as well. And you feel like, this is wrong, man, what I'm doing, man. And it's like you feel bad for these people.
I remember when I was doing my scam baiting, when I was scam baiting myself, when I was doing these calls, you know, you would often hear in the background, you know, scammers laughing at other calls.
Yeah. If somebody starts crying, they will pull funny faces, like, you know, trying to make you laugh because they know that you're being serious right now. So they will pull funny faces. It's all a laugh, you know. If somebody's sale gets dropped at the last minute, the rest of them will like laugh at you because you've lost your sale and things like that. It's childish games. What something like they are all grown up people. Now what I do is go to work, I hack the computer, give Jim Browning the index key, and I just leave.
What has it been like for you since you got out of scamming and you've now basically turned into, in many ways, an informant of sorts, and you know, you have a very distinctive voice as well?
Yes, that gives me a way. I go to work for like one day and next minute I haven't gone to work again, and they see the call center on TV. They know it's me. They know it was me, that I was the guy that came for one day, never came again. Now the computers have been hacked and things like that. And because of my accent, it gives me away. So this is why I try to hide my face and things like that. I don't show my face anywhere. But the accent gives me away because it's always like, you know, the guy with the UK accent. He's got a UK accent. Be careful of him.
Have there been threats made against you?
Yeah. I've been kidnapped. I've been run over. Things like that. That's all happened.
You brushed over that very quickly. You were kidnapped and run over. I mean, what? I don't mean to laugh. I mean, that's pretty fucking wild.
I'll show you my injuries. Can you see that? That's one there.
Oh yeah. That's from being run over?
Yeah. And I'll show you the other side as well. 1 minute. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How can you see?
Yes, I can. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's on the outside and that's on the inside. I broke my leg. When I got run over, when I fell off the path.
Wait. So is this the kidnapping or is this the kidnapping or being run over?
Run over. This was a random. I was leaving my house, getting ready to work, and there's been a story in the Canadian newspaper, Star Metro, the journalist behind it. He phoned me and basically I just told him how it is. The story has got to the owners here. They've heard it. The day it came out, somehow, some way, it's got to them and they've come to meet me and things like that. Obviously, that day they just beat me up and left me. But then I'm on for too late. I'm getting ready to go to work and I just see this car speeding at me and I fell off from the car bonnet, and after when I was coming off it, my foot gave away and somehow I just broke my leg, I broke my ankle. And I've got like 7 screws in total in my leg around that part.
I mean, that's terrifying. You didn't think to like leave the city? Weren't you scared for you like that they might come back or anything like that?
Yeah, I live out in the fields now.
So you were run over after being kidnapped.
Yes.
So you were kidnapped and then they just beat you to teach you a lesson, essentially.
Yes, because they knew that I'm speaking to people. They worried that the police are going to come to the city and things like that. No one ever knew that there were scam call centers here. And because of me, people know. So they're like, you gave it away and things like that.
The fact that you're continuing to infiltrate these call centers after being kidnapped, after being beaten, after being run over. I mean, it's great that you're doing it, but at the same time, I have to ask, like, do you not are law enforcement companies, are they just not doing enough?
The police are involved. There's one guy that's in my city, the grandson of the mayor of my town, is running a scam call center.
I mean, that sort of sums it up, doesn't it?
There you go. So he's untouchable, The police, you go to the police, what they're going to do? They're not going to do nothing. It's all basically money talks. A call center can be set up anywhere that money can pay them to get them out of the situation. There's been raids. There was a raid, I think, last year. They made it look like in the media, like, oh, these people are fucked. They're going to go down for this. In the end, they've only spent like 20 days in jail now with their out on bail.
What can people watching this right now, what can people actively do to protect themselves and their loved ones from these scams?
It's simple. If they receive a phone call from anyone demanding money that it needs to be paid now, you don't pay it. No matter if the police is coming, whoever is coming, tell them to send it. You remember, if it's a government official, they will send you another letter. They're not going to say to you, no, you need to pay it now. But these people think, these law-abiding citizens that have never probably stolen a chocolate bar in their life, they think it works like that and they actually fall for this.
How do you feel that the fight against these scammers are going?
Scammers is the same way it's the war on drugs. It's never going to be over. The government is never going to get it under control. It's going to be all over the place. It's just like drugs. It's too lucrative for it to be stopped. People are willing to take the risk. They know one sale can make your month complete. It's a disease that is unstoppable. Because while there is humanity in the world, there will always be another scam.
I mean, it's a terrible state of things. And I know it's, in many ways, a lot of this feels very like you said, it's a war, like the war on drugs. It's never going to end. What is your hope, your realistic hope for the state of scamming in the coming years?
I think the consequences need to be more serious. If you're involved in scamming or something like that, you need to be given serious punishment. But the government's not going to do that because these people will just buy the judge. You're probably thinking I'm being stupid by making a comment like that, but it is possible. You can buy the judge in India. Nothing is off limit here, you can buy the police. If you feel as the owner of a call center, the police are asking for too much money, you can tell the police, like, fuck off, I'll just buy the judge, mate. Simple as. And remember, a judge is just one person. The police is a team that you have to feed. A judge is just one person you have to feed. There's too much corruption in this world that people think that they're going to get away with it one way or another.
It's been over a year now since I did my first piece about scamming and scam baiting. And, I guess at the very least, I'm grateful that there are scam baiters out there and that there are also people like you that are doing their part to at least, at least there are people out there trying to help fight against these call centers. Even though, like, by your own admission, it's a war that'll never end, at least there's people fighting on our side.
The reason why I believe I do this is there is nothing else I know that I can do. I work with Pleasant Green or I work with Jim Browning. So for me, it's like I make good money with them. So I don't need to scam no one. My money is genuine. I haven't hurt nobody. And it's all good, I can justify my salary to myself.
Thank you again, Casey, for your time. And I appreciate you, not only speaking with me, but speaking out about this and doing everything you can to continue bringing awareness to this, despite the fact that, again, you were kidnapped, beaten, run over. And, for many people, that would have been it for them. But the fact that you're still out there fighting, I appreciate it. Oof, wow. Well, that was a very illuminating and pretty disheartening call when it comes to the state of things as far as scamming. But, it's best we be realistic about how bad the situation is. There's no point glossing over it and saying that, oh, everything will be okay because people are out there scam baiting. Casey's out there, doing his thing. We heard it straight from someone like Casey who's entrenched in this about just how bad this situation is and how it's probably a situation that will perhaps never be properly fixed. And so all we can do is just hopefully continue to be aware, make our loved ones aware, make people aware, even it's as simple as just passing this message along, passing Casey's message along. If there's any sort of glimmer of hope in all this, it's the humanity in the people that are fighting these scammers, be it the scam baiters, people like Casey. I think this is another case of where knowledge is just power. Awareness is important because hopefully now that you know this, if you didn't before, you can pass this message along to other people, to your loved one, and hopefully you can save someone from being scammed, and maybe then they can save someone else from being scammed. And every little bit counts. I think in fights like these, every little bit counts. Either way, thank you so much as always for watching this video. I hope you found it illuminating. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought, as well as what other types of people you'd like to see me hopefully interview in the future. Maybe there are people in other nefarious criminal industries that you want to hear from. Let me know and maybe I can make it happen. Either way, I appreciate you sticking around as always. Huge thanks as well, of course, to Casey for taking the time to speak with me about his experiences. And a special thanks to the members of our Patreon who submitted many of the questions that I asked Casey here today. And of course, if you want to become a member of our Patreon, the link will be down in the description below. And if you become a Patreon member, hopefully in the future, you'll be able to help me with future videos like this one. Either way, thank you all so much for sticking around and keeping Pop company as always as I wander into the dark and depressing parts of the world. I'm glad to always have you there by my side. So lots of love and peace out.